I'm going to talk about a couple of issues right now, mainly OCR, because I've been getting tons and tons of comments, people saying, oh, the only reason this and that happened is because they ran it through OCR. And if you don't know, OCR stands for Optical Character Recognition. It's basically software that looks at an image, finds what the text is, the handwritten text, and separates it on the new layers. I've also been getting lots of comments about optimizing a PDF and how that will change the pixels somehow. I'm gonna I'm gonna say debunk all of these right now in this video. Let me start off just going back into Illustrator. I have here the birth certificate. Let me show you the info so I can just so none of you jump to conclusions. This is the one from whitehouse.gov, as you can see here. Oh, and one more thing. It was created Wednesday, April 27, 2011, 6:06 p.m., which was the date I downloaded in the first video, and modified. It hasn't been modified since then, so this is the original copy. I haven't modified it yet. Without further ado, I'll open it in Illustrator. I will be running OCR on this in this video. Okay, first thing I want to talk about, in Illustrator, when you add things, when you add outside sources, like if I were to import an image into here that maybe said like, I don't know, just maybe a date perhaps, like this one right here. If I were to import this was a separate image, and I put it in here, it would be saved in a thing called links. Inside of Illustrator, there's external links. The way to view them is to go to Window and click Links. You can view all the things they've added. For here, there's NON, and if you click here, it'll show you where it is. It's right there. That's where they put the NONE for none, for occupation. And they have all these links in here. The interesting thing about these links is, let me cancel. Okay. The interesting thing about these links is they've all been scaled 24% horizontally and vertically and rotated -90 degrees, which is just 90 degrees clockwise, if you're curious. You can see, if you click on it, you can see the transformation they applied after they imported it into Illustrator. This one was scaled 24%, 24%, and rotated. Along with this. These are just things they've placed all throughout here. They've all been scaled 24% on vertical and horizontally, but the last one is scaled 48%. Now, if they had just imported one image and some software had run all this, they would have all been scaled an even amount. This one wouldn't have been needed to be been scaled double the size, 24, 48. It would have just already been 24, and these would have all been 24. They would have all been 48, but these are all 24, and the last one is 48, which is very suspicious, especially this links thing. The way links works, I could even change out this image. This is a separate image, which means it didn't come with the original document. So if I click here, switch it out. I've already created one, wif.png. Plug it in there. You'll see if I go down here, it's changed the NONE to wife. It's simple as that to edit it. Now I'm going to start using Acrobat Reader. I'm going to optimize the PDF. I'm going to use OCR, Optical Character Recognition. First, let me open this PDF. First, let me close and make sure I don't save any of the things I've just done. So don't save. Okay, I'll open it in Acrobat Reader now. Here it is. And once again, just let me zoom in, just in case some of you have forgotten since the first video. If I zoom in on the signature, the Dunham, after the D, all the pixels are one color. And a lot of people were claiming when you run it through optimization, it makes them all one color. The reason being it saves space somehow. First, I want to specify that pixels are pixels, and whether you have them all one color or all different colors, it still takes the same amount of code and the same amount of space to specify that. Each pixel has its own individual code for what color it is, and if there are a bunch of different colors that are all the same color, it's still the same amount of code for each individual pixel specifying what color that is. So that doesn't actually optimize it at all. If I zoom out, keep in mind these are all one color right here, and do text on this, it'll say this page contains only an image of the scan page. There are no text characters, which means that it's never been run through OCR software. Just to satisfy people, I'm going to run it through now, but it's never been run through according to Acrobat Reader. So I'll just run it through primary OCR, standard OCR. Let it run. Okay, it's done. And the way OCR works is now it's picked up where all the text is. I can select parts of the text and it recognizes it, and I can even copy this, and it would copy and paste it as a certificate of live birth. Now, the interesting thing is after you run it through OCR, if I zoom in on this signature, it actually changes them to have multiple colored pixels. So if it had been run through OCR, which it already said it wasn't, but even if it had and somehow lost that information, this wouldn't have been one solid color. This actually looks more like handwritten ink when it's been run through OCR than it did before. A lot of people were also saying, oh, it's just when you optimized it did that. So I'm going to go ahead and, this is, it's obviously, this looks like handwriting now. The pixels are different colors. It was solid before, but I'm going to go ahead and close this, not save any of the changes I've just done, and open it again and optimize it this time. So File, Save As, Optimized PDF, Standard Settings. Okay. And I'll save this as Form Optimized. Now, let me close out of this, even though that is it, just to show that I'm opening this one. It was already open, but just to satisfy the viewer. I'll zoom in on the optimized one. And you'll see that none of the handwriting has been changed to this color. In fact, it hasn't really done anything at all. There's no changes. Let me close out of this and open an image I already have. This is just cursive handwriting. I just pulled this offline. As you can see, this is handwriting because all the pixels are different colors. It's not one solid color. It hasn't been added on the computer like Obama's mother's signature was. I'll open this in Acrobat Reader as well. It's Acrobat, File, Open, Cursive. So I'm in Video 4, All Files, Cursive.jpg. Here we go. Cursive.pdf. This is the handwriting we just had. I'll zoom in, and you'll see that this is obvious handwriting. It hasn't been added on the computer. The pixels are different colors, just as pen or pencil would be in real life. Let me save this. Well, first off, let me run it through character recognition. This page contains only an image, blah, blah, blah. There's no characters. So this has never been run through character recognition, and that's kind of obvious since it was just an image. I'll hit OK. OCR standard. Running, running, running. Here we go. It hasn't detected any text. All this really neat handwriting hasn't been detected as text at all, whereas people were claiming this insane signature that's almost impossible to read by a computer compared to this has been detected, and it's just ridiculous. Now let me optimize it, because people were claiming that the pixels, which by the way are still one color, I mean different shades of colors, aren't one color. I'll optimize it, save as, optimized PDF. So this can be cursive optimized. Standard settings, okay. Cursive optimized, replace. Now it's been optimized. If I zoom in, it's still multiple colors. None of them have been changed to one solid color. And people were also claiming that, oh, well, when they ran the OCR, which by the way we already shown was never ran, OCR hasn't been run on that birth certificate, but when they said it was run, that made it all one color. Well, we also showed earlier on that it was one solid color, and when we actually did run the OCR, that's when it changed to multiple colors. So that's just, it's crazy, really. But I've run this, I've optimized it, and I've run it through OCR, this cursive.pdf. I'm going to open it in Illustrator now. Here it is. I'll open the layers, and there's a group, and I click that, and there's just an image. I've run it through OCR, and I've optimized it, and there's not tons of layers like Obama's birth certificate had. There's no, let's go to the links and see if there's any links. There's no links, it's only this solid image. This is cursive optimized.pdf, the one we just made. Now let me also open the birth certificate in Acrobat Reader. This is the original one. Still has the solid ink for that. Let me run it through OCR. Once again, it says this has never been run through OCR. There's no text detected. So I'll run it through OCR. And after we ran this the first time, it did pick up text. So when you run it through OCR, it does eventually detect text. So if it had been run once, it wouldn't have asked me to run it again. If I click now, you see it detects the text there, right? So save as, optimized PDF. This PDF document needs to be saved. Alright, so we'll just save this standard optimize, and we'll save this as final. So birth certificate long form final.pdf. Saving. Alright, now it's been optimized and it's been run through OCR. Here it is, final. Let's open this in Illustrator. Let's go to the links, and you'll see that it's gotten rid of all the links, the stuff they've added. All we have is just blank things here. And every time you optimize, it adds 2 blank ones. There were originally 2 blank ones, now there's 4. These have nothing inside of it though. It's nothing, and everything's not applicable. It's not even an image, so that's really nothing. Let's go to the layers, open it up. We have this where it just has the image and group. Let's open this one, and we have all this stuff in here. Now, when I click on the visibility of any of this, you'll see all there is a clipping. All that's done is just detect where the lines are, and all these lines are separate things. If I turn off this whole entire group, the whole group's visibility, it doesn't affect the image at all. All we just have is a clipping mask, which is done by Illustrator, but there's no text, none of the text has been separated. If I zoom in, after we've optimized it on the signature, it now looks even more legit than it did. It has different color pixels, whereas people were saying the reason it was solid was because it's optimized. Now that we've optimized it, it's actually turned the solid to unsolid. So I challenge anyone to find some more loopholes. I'm more than happy to make another video. And also, if anyone has any Hawaii birth certificates they want to email me, my email's in the description bar. I'd love to use them in my next videos. I'm trying to build somewhat of a library. And I'm not asking you to send me your birth certificate. Feel free to block out any information, put marks over it. I just want different parts of it so I can see the forms and whatnot. Short form or long form. Any year, really. Alright guys, until next time.